This is Lesson 6, Interpreting Quadratic Equation Roots. In our last lesson, you learned how to solve a quadratic equation in standard form using the quadratic formula. So I'd like you to recall how to do that right now. You can pause the video and work through the solution, or you can just follow along with me. So I can see that I am in standard form and my equation's equal to 0. So now all I have to do is list my A, my B, and my C, and plug it into my quadratic formula. So A is 4, B is -10, and C is 25. My quadratic formula to determine x is x equals -b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac. And then that is divided by 2a. So x will equal, it's a -b, and my b is negative, so two negatives would make a +10, plus or minus -10 squared minus 4 times 4 times 25. And then in the denominator, it's 2 times 4. All right, so let's start solving underneath that square root symbol. I see that -10 squared is 100. I only have the one negative symbol, so I know that it'll be a subtract between my two answers. And 4 times 4 times 25 gives me 400. In my denominator, I'm going to have 8. And then under my square root symbol, I have -300. And that right there is where we pump the brakes, because we can see, or we know, that I cannot solve a negative under the square root symbol, not with the math that we know at this point. So when that happens, it actually is telling us something special. So first let's talk about what it means when you have a negative under the square root symbol. So it says down here that numbers such as -16 and -35 are called imaginary numbers. They do not exist in the set of real numbers, but in a set called complex numbers, which are important in advanced mathematics. So we won't be using imaginary numbers for our purposes, but this leads us into what does it mean when I have that negative under the square root? And we're going to talk about something called the discriminant. So the number of roots of a quadratic, the b squared minus 4ac, that is what is underneath the square root symbol in our formula, b squared minus 4ac. This is called the discriminant, and it dictates the number of roots a quadratic has. And remember that number of roots, we could also say zeros, and we could also say x-intercepts that a quadratic has, that there's three possibilities. So the first possibility happens when b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, and that means it's going to have a positive value. So let's type that into the box. When the discriminant is positive, what happens is you will have two roots. And that's what we have been working with yesterday when we were using the quadratic equation to solve. It was always positive underneath, and we'd have two roots. So what that would look like would be a parabola having the vertex below the x-axis opening up, so that we have two roots, or two zeros, or two x-intercepts. Or we could have the vertex above the x-axis opening down, which would also result in two zeros. Okay, so that happens when the discriminant is positive. Now, what happens when the discriminant is negative? And so when the discriminant is negative, you're going to have no roots. So let's type that in. When the discriminant is negative, so that means that when you calculate the b squared minus 4ac, it would be a negative value under the root symbol. So you will have no roots or no solution. So what that would look like in the graph is if I had a vertex above the x-axis opening up, you can see it does not cross the x-axis, so therefore is no roots. Or if I have my vertex below the x-axis opening down, again, it would not cross the x-axis. So there's one other situation that you could have. So the discriminant could be positive, it could be negative, or the discriminant could equal 0. And that's our last box at the bottom in our chart. And so if the discriminant is 0, and this has come up in the past, I'm not sure if you remember it, but when the discriminant is 0, you'll have one solution. Just fix my spelling. Okay, and we know that is going to occur when the vertex sits directly on the axis, the x-axis. So when the vertex sits directly on it, you're going to have only one solution, and that's when the vertex and the x-intercept is the same value. Okay. Now what we're going to look at is how to determine this algebraically without the graph. So let's go to the next page. And it says, how many roots does each quadratic have? Notice it's not asking me to solve, it's just asking me how many. So the answer is going to be either 1 or 2 or 0 roots. Those are our options based on what we just went through. And so to do that, we're going to use the discriminant. The discriminant uses the a, b, and c values just like the quadratic formula does. So I'm going to start by listing them. A is -3, B is -2, and C is 4. So when I use the discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac, we use the variable capital D to represent the word discriminant. And now we're just going to sub in as normal. So that's -2 squared minus 4 times -3 times 4. And I'll just solve using BEDMAS. So I have 4, I have 2 negatives here. So I know that 2 negatives make a positive. And then 4 times 3 is 12, times 4 is 48. Added together is 52. And then I make my conclusion. So since D is greater than 0, so remember that that interval means that D is positive and 52 is a positive number, therefore 2 roots. Anytime we have a positive discriminant, we know we'll have 2 roots. Okay, let's try the next one. If you're understanding this, you might want to pause the video and try it on your own and then go cycle back, see if you get the same as me. So same thing, I'm going to list my A, my B, and my C. So A is 3, B is -2, and C is 4. I'm going to use my discriminant to determine how many roots. So B is -2 squared minus 4 times 3 times 4. In this case, I have only the subtract symbol. So one negative means I'll have a subtract here. 4 times 3 is 12, times 4 is 48 again. And this time, my discriminant is -44. So my conclusion, since D is less than 0, which means that the discriminant is negative, then therefore we know that there are no roots. Okay, now before I do C, I want to point something out. You can only use this formula if the quadratic is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Just like for the quadratic formula, you have to make sure all the terms are on the same side and equal to 0. All right, let's finish off. So we have A is 1 for C, B is 2, and C is 1. So we'll write our formula for the discriminant and sub in. So I have 2 squared minus 4 times A is 1 times C is also 1. So 2 squared is 4 minus 4 times 1 is 4, and that equals 0. And so we write our conclusion, since D equals 0, therefore 1 root, or 1 solution. All right, now what is there other ways in order to determine the number of roots when your equation's in standard form without graphing? And there is. So we can also determine this by completing the square. And this is good practice. We did completing the square earlier in the unit. So the first thing we're going to do, the equation's in standard form, we're going to complete the square. So y equals, I'm going to put brackets around the first two terms and divide out the a value. In this case, I don't have an a value, so I'm going to go right to figuring out what do I add and subtract to make a perfect square trinomial. We know we use that, take our b value, divide it by 2, and square it. So my b value is 8, divided by 2 squared is going to be 16. So I'm going to add 16 and subtract 16. And I am just going to erase this, get it out of the way. Okay, and then our minus 3 on the end. Okay, I'm going to put another set of brackets around my PST and go ahead and factor that. So that'll be x plus 4 squared. And then I'll release the negative 16. My a value is only 1, so that is just going to stay negative 16. And then I'll combine, and we'll get negative 19. Okay, so we changed standard form to vertex form, and what we're going to do now is state the vertex. So I can see that the vertex is negative 4, negative 19, and I'm going to think about where that is. Is that above the x-axis or below the x-axis? So that vertex would be below the x-axis. The next thing I'm going to look at is which way the parabola is opening. I can see that the a value is positive, it's greater than 0. So that means that the parabola opens up. And now based on these two pieces of information, I can determine how many roots. So if I was to draw myself a visual, I know that negative 4, negative 19 is somewhere in quadrant 3. My parabola is opening up, therefore 2 roots. Okay, and that's how you can determine the number of roots without using the discriminant and still without graphing. Okay, my video is at about 13 minutes, so I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to start a new one in order to finish up the last 2 examples.